Killer Elite presents to you today the Rope Talk with Simon Highland and myself, Gabriel Pierce. Today we're going to be discussing the possible end of NXT. So how do we want to start this today, bro?
Well, where do we start? That's the question. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Are they just holding off to see how they do with the brand extension? Are they going to include some of the top talent in NXT in the brand extension? Possibly. And could they bring NXT back to just being developmental for the stars such as Peyton and people like that aren't ready for main spots, that are still learning the trade?
Well, let's start with the next big thing coming up is NXT End.
Yeah.
That's the next big thing coming up.
Yeah.
It's obviously the big name is End, and it's the final match between Samoa Joe and Finn Balor, right?
Yeah, in a cage match.
In a cage match, and this is going to be the send-off for Finn Balor, obviously.
Obviously, yeah, and obviously he's going to come up and do his thing with the club and the rest of that. So is the tweet that Triple H sent out just the fact that it's the end of an era, and the fact that all the main male stars that were in NXT are leaving? Does that mean Bayley's leaving as well? Is it just that? That's my thinking.
My thought process is it's the last of the NXT originals.
Yeah.
With Finn Balor going.
Yeah.
He's that's probably it.
Yeah.
It's the end of the original NXT guys, because when Finn Balor came in, he was one of those mainstay guys, and now he's gone, and so now it's all the new faces. With the Austin Aries in, Bobby Roode in, Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Eric Young. You got all these new.
Yeah, Nakamura. Yeah. No.
So it could be the end of an era in NXT.
Yeah, that's my thinking on it. Yeah, that's my thinking on it as well. And the fact that they've got a story with Bayley being injured, and obviously giving Nia Jax the spot. Because I don't think people could invest in Asuka beating Bayley again and still keeping her relevant and strong for the move. So that's why I think they're keeping Bayley. They're keeping her on TV, but only in promos, but obviously off TV for wrestling. Because obviously, like you say, that could be the end of an era with her going up to the main roster as well.
Well, if they're doing this brand extension and they're going to be putting women on each show, they're going to have Bayley up there. Yeah,
I think Carmella will go as well, even though she wants to stay and be the NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah, they're going to have a run with Big Cass.
Yeah, I definitely think that's where she's going to go. Do you think Nia Jax could take the title from Asuka and Asuka get the call as well?
Asuka won't get the call yet, but I think she could take the title from Asuka, and then Asuka will be put in the Bayley situation for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
Where she's fighting to try to get the title back, and then she'll get the call up in 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, do you think? I don't know, because I don't know how many women they've actually got on the main rosters. So you're probably looking at about 15, aren't you?
It's either 18 or 19 right
now. So I don't think that's enough to split. I don't unless
9 on each show with Charlotte in the shows.
Yeah, I don't know if they. I don't know, because they can't keep them relevant at the moment.
Well, they can't keep them relevant at the moment because of injuries.
Yeah, but
once Nikki Bella comes back.
If she comes back.
She'll come back.
If she comes back.
I think.
I'm not too sure. The reports on her injury aren't fantastic. So will she come back for? I don't know. Again, it's a tricky situation. Does she want to put herself in a position where she could wrestle one match and end her career, or does she go out now and not have to face the same situation that Daniel Bryan was facing?
Yeah, I guess.
go out on her own accord, because it could happen. It could happen again. She basically broke her neck, basically.
So that might be a thing to bring up, Nia Jax and Asuka.
Yeah. So I'm not too sure about Nia Jax, but Asuka definitely. I think she could definitely, which is why I think they're booking Nia Jax so strong, to make it that she can take the title from Asuka.
But then you also got rumors about this guy coming over from TNA too.
Yeah. There is that. So I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure whether I'm happy about that or not. I've never really rated her that highly. So, but then again, she's got to be better than some of the women that are actually in the WWE right now.
For me, NXT has been kind of like, it's been a fun thing to have happen, but for me, there's been a big decline lately. It hasn't been the same.
No, because I think people watched it, and for the women's wrestling, a lot of people. I watched it for women's wrestling, and because they had some fantastic matches, some of the best women's wrestling I've ever seen.
Oh, dude, freaking Bayley, Sasha.
Yeah, that was incredible.
One of the greatest matches I've probably ever seen.
Yeah, and
that match was amazing. And then when
the Fatal 4-Way.
That little girl cry.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Classic.
Yeah, that was amazing, and the Fatal 4-Way was incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. So.
Well, even some of the other matches, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn,
Yeah.
Kevin Owens,
Yeah.
Balor in the ladder match.
Yeah.
There was some good
There's been a lot of good matches. Sami Zayn, yeah, that was quality. I know what happened to Bo Dallas, because in NXT he was awesome. I really liked him.
Creative.
Yeah, they just booked him. Yeah, they booked him terribly. That inspirational Bo Dallas thing was pointless.
I personally liked it, but creative didn't do it right.
Yeah, you could see where it could go, but again, they didn't book it right, and they just made him irrelevant.
Yep.
But with NXT, I think the best thing for me would be to, well, if they're not going to keep the stars, which I doubt they will, the likes of Austin Aries, Bobby Roode, Eric Young, etc., are all going to go into the brand extension to make SmackDown more relevant. Because without people like that, they're just going to have jobbers on one show and main eventers on another, with a few main eventers put with the jobbers, and it won't work. They need to have.
You could also bring in the European title in SmackDown.
Yeah.
Could make it relevant.
Well, I think the most likely title to bring back would be the Cruiserweight.
I would dig that with Austin Aries, Nakamura,
Yeah.
Eric Young,
Neville.
Yep.
You've got some fantastic cruiserweights, and it will make them relevant instead of just being put with the big guys and getting squashed all the time.
So I kind of wanted to hit on what I was talking to you about earlier.
Yep.
So I wanted to just bring this out there. It's a little off on non-wrestling, but it's involving Stephanie and Triple H. So my thought process is bringing a little real life into wrestling. The possibility of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon divorcing.
Yeah. See,
bring an end to Triple H's little brainchild while quietly doing it all behind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then having him sign a superstar contract, like he did.
Yeah.
In your superstar contract.
He did that just before Mania.
Yep, and then go from behind the scenes to on screen.
Yeah. I could see where your thought process is going, because it is like the McMahons to do their private life behind closed doors, but still incorporate it into the business.
Yeah, and it takes all the limelight off of the situation, and it's still all business.
Yeah.
And Triple H is all about the business, so I mean he would understand how it would all go down.
Yeah.
Okay. So I could see how it would do it, and obviously, you know, he was married to her, he would still get his stake in the company. He would just have no
creative control. Yeah.
No creative control. So he would have to be forced to be the superstar again. Therefore, he would have to get rid of his NXT brainchild and completely become
a superstar
developmental thing again.
Yeah.
NXT, and therefore all those guys he brought up, would then go to SmackDown. Hence the brand extension.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Everything's like connecting dots right now.
Yeah, it does make sense. Obviously, you can clearly see where your thoughts go with that. And it's not out of the realms, like I said, out of the realms of McMahon's to incorporate private life into business and storylines, etc., etc. So the fact with the brand extension and taking out Triple H's creative control, his creative genius, as I would say, because NXT is
Triple H.
Yeah, and it's special.
And Vince never liked it anyways.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
He would say toss it to the curb anyways.
Yeah.
So he would want this brand extension by bringing up old talent.
Yeah. So if Triple H is just gonna
just toss it to the side, make it developmental like FCW was.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you see a lot of the people going down to Evolve?
Yeah. I could see them sending Heath Slater back down to NXT and it not be an aired show.
Hmm.
I could see that. I can see them sending those people that they don't use down there.
Curtis Axel, Heath Slater.
Curtis Axel, yeah. Send those guys back down there, and it not be a televised show, be it like an FCW again.
Yeah.
Shit, that's where fucking Roman Reigns was.
Roman Reigns was better in FCW.
Years. Yeah, he spent years down there when it was non-televised.
Yeah, he was better in FCW than he is in WWE.
I mean, shit. But John Cena was at OVW before FCW.
Yeah. So was Randy Orton and Batista. Yeah.
Brock Lesnar. I mean, all those guys were there first.
Yeah.
So it worked before it became NXT. Triple H just made it mainstream.
Yeah, he just made it televised. Yeah, he just made it. Yeah, he made it televised, and he brought on experienced indie guys like.
Yeah. Which hit with the crowd.
Yeah.
So, and obviously the crowds appreciated that because look who he brought in.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens, Finn Balor. He brought in
Sami Zayn. Yeah.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose. He brought in these guys that everybody wanted.
Well, Dean Ambrose was on WWE years ago, wasn't he?
For a short period.
Yeah, he wrestled a few matches, didn't he? But yeah, it is definitely a theory behind what you're saying about the divorce and that. And I could definitely see it happening. But if that is the case, how do you see Triple H being a superstar? Do you see him being part-time like Lesnar?
No, I see him being 3/4 time.
Yeah, well, like Chris Jericho.
Yeah, like Chris Jericho, where he's like 8 out of the 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then probably those other 4 months, he probably has the kids.
Yeah.
You know, where he's taking care of the kids fully. So it would probably be, yeah, he would, and then he would probably be a mainstay in the company still, where he's probably champ 3 of those 8 months, or main event picture. He's gonna be a main guy. His name has.
Yeah. It still has the draw, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But
it definitely has the draw. When you see Triple H versus Roman Reigns, it's sold, regardless of how people felt about Roman Reigns. Everyone wanted to see Triple H kick the shit out of Roman Reigns. When he came out number 30 in the Royal Rumble,
yeah,
I jumped out of my seat and was wanting him to beat the shit out of Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I called that. I called that from as soon as TLC. I called it a TLC when Roman Reigns beat him up. And I knew that was going to happen and put him off the telly. But even though you knew it was going to happen, you still marked out when it did happen.
Yeah, I marked the hell out. I was like, dude, Triple H is back. I wanted it, dude. And then when he came back and then he spit the water up and he started flexing, I was like,
yeah.
I got hyped. I love that Triple H. It was like when he came back in 2002 with the jacket and he was just flexing his muscles. I was like,
yeah.
For me, that was nostalgia.
I love the game. I don't.
Oh yeah, the game.
The game.
I like the corporate guy. I like
yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
And then when he did the little suck it sign, and when threw Roman out. Oh,
Yeah.
got me hyped up.
Yeah.
Got me hella hyped up. So I was like, that I wouldn't mind him coming back on screen and doing that every night. I'm all for it.
Yeah. I just don't see how I can see what you're saying. I just don't see how he can fit in, because with the current.
Oh, he would fit in. Him and Kevin Owens. He would have a rivalry with Kevin Owens.
Would you see him coming back as a face then?
Oh no. I'd see him coming back and saying, "This is my locker room," and he would rival with Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens would say, "This is my locker room." He would rival with Owens on whose locker room it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I could see that being a badass rivalry.
Yeah.
Putting on a series of matches to start his time back.
Yeah, but when
I could see that.
but could you see that as Kevin Owens getting pushed down the card, because obviously Kevin Owens is the favourite to win Money in the Bank.
Triple H would be there to help push the younger talent, but at the same time still seem relevant. He's not John Cena, mind you.
Yeah.
He would put on the role of Shawn Michaels, so he would probably lose the first match, win the second match, and then closely lose the third match to Kevin Owens. So he would lose the rivalry. He's not John Cena.
Yeah. But would you see that as Kevin Owens? Would you see him as Kevin Owens holding the Money in the Bank during this feud, or not?
I would see Kevin Owens holding the money in the Bank during the feud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose.
And then you have, and then after that feud, you have, say, Triple H win the title, and then you have Kevin Owens come out and screw Triple H to win the title, and then you could prolong that feud a little longer if you really wanted, and it could lead to something huge. That's how I would bring him in personally. I could creatively write Triple H into the roster, and I could make him relevant as hell without having him kill anyone.
Yeah, see, that's my worry, is the fact of him potentially keeping other players out of the main event. But I suppose if you've got two brands again, then you're only going to be keeping. And if he's not necessarily fighting for a title, but he's having that main event feud still. I suppose you still got the players like the Miz, etc. Cesaro going for the IC or the US title. And I suppose you're not keeping them out of the title picture by having Triple H feud with people that aren't in the title picture and keeping them relevant. Because I suppose you've got a feud with Triple H, you're going to be relevant. Like you say, it's going to put asses in seats.
Yeah, and then that can also bring up a lower talent when they're ready too, because if you have Triple H as the superstar, Dean Ambrose just lost when Triple H was champion at the little roadblock or whatever.
Yeah.
But when they're ready to give Dean Ambrose that push, you have a 3-month feud with Dean Ambrose and Triple H, and you make Dean Ambrose win that feud.
Yeah.
So you make him win 2 out of 3 matches, and then bam, there's Ambrose's push at the title. Because he legitimately beats Triple H 2 out of 3 times.
But then he has to beat him twice, doesn't he?
Yep.
Because effectively, he's already lost the first match.
Yep.
So yeah, it could work. I do like the thinking behind it. Because again, he's there, and he could kind of play on the same sort of thing that Cena's saying. The future's got to go through him, but in a heel way. To see where I'm going, like.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
so you'd have the heel.
The heel version of that, yeah. Yeah, that for me could work, because you'd have 2 guys that have been in the business. Obviously, Cena's been there 13 years, and Triple H has been there 20 years. So yeah, the fact that
23 years.
Yeah, yeah, it's been there a long time.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah. So I don't know exactly what NXT is gonna do. I mean, we're gonna see obviously more after July 19th.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and obviously I'm looking forward to Monday Night Raw, to see if they've got any little teaser announcements about it, how they're going to play the draft, if it is going to be a draft, or are they just going to...
That's the thing, it's everyone's saying draft. I don't think there's going to be a draft.
It's just going to be a case of you're on this show, you're on that show.
I think it's going to be an extension. I think it's going to be a full, clean house of NXT. Everybody's going to go from NXT over to SmackDown, and you're going to have a couple people go from Raw to SmackDown. I honestly don't think there's going to be any draft.
No, I don't think there will be. I think, like you say, I think it's just going to be...
If there is indeed an NXT end, it's ending and they're all being jumped to SmackDown. So.
Yeah. And I think that will make SmackDown relevant, because you're going to get all the people that were watching NXT watching SmackDown.
Yeah, and it'll be on a cable channel instead of just WWE Network.
Yeah.
And so you're going to get exposure, and people are going to be, oh, who the hell's Nakamura? I don't have WWE Network. Who's this guy?
Yeah, and then, and you'll get people searching for the old NXT matches by, obviously, buying the network.
Subscribers.
Yeah.
So that might actually be a smart move by WWE.
It could be, yeah. Because I know the subscriptions have slowed down a lot recently.
Well, they're going to go up and down.
So put in the... Yeah, I forgot. I completely mind went completely blank then. So by doing that, then obviously they're going to get more subscribers, because people will be wanting to see what these guys did in NXT, who their past feuds are, etc. So they're obviously going to get more exposure with that.
Well, also this could be this brand extension could be lead into something else too, because what if WWE has actually purchased TNA? We haven't actually talked about that either. No,
we haven't talked about that.
And I know we should probably save this for the draft special, but what if they actually did purchase TNA and it's actually they're bringing up NXT and over TNA guys?
I don't know. That's some...
TNA is like recorded 8 weeks back.
Yeah.
So you don't actually know what's going on with them.
This is true, and a lot has quieted down about these investors. That I know I haven't seen a lot about these. They had that investor come in, didn't they? And then it kind of everything went dead. So has that died? And
it's not like Vince doesn't have the money.
No. But could you see it not being Vince that's bought TNA, but Shane?
Or Triple H.
Or Triple H.
How fucked up would that be?
Because you got to think, I know a few years ago Triple H was quite high on Drew McIntyre, as he was in WWE.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre, and actually he was high on EC3 too.
Yeah, he was. So it wouldn't be it would be a shock, but it wouldn't be too much of a shock, because
out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, and if it does play into the fact that, like you say, if there is the divorce between Steph and Triple H, if that is the case, then could Triple H potentially, to keep his creative control, etc., if Vince does do away, that he has purchased TNA with Shane?
Oh, that would be intense.
Because that would be a great story, that Shane and Triple H have purchased TNA and taken over SmackDown with all the NXT talent and the TNA talent.
That'd be some crazy shit right there.
That would be awesome, and they could have their own mini Monday Night Wars between SmackDown and Raw, with Triple H and Shane versus Steph and Vince, with the talent from TNA NXT versus the talent from WWE.
Right.
That would be some great storytelling and some awesome TV. I think that would be awesome, and it probably is too far fetched for it to to come into play. But it's also on the cusp of not being that far fetched, and actually could happen. Especially with Shane's past history with screwing his dad.
Yeah, for sure.
So there is a lot of ifs and buts and maybes, and none of us are quite sure with what's going to happen, which makes it quite entertaining, which makes it quite interesting. Yeah.
Just like the end of the Monday Night Wars, you don't know what the hell is going to happen.
No, and although this is different, it has a similar sort of feeling to it, about you genuinely don't know what is happening, and with SmackDown being live on a Tuesday now, well, from July 19th being live on a Tuesday, kind of, and the fact it's going head to head with TNA, even if they haven't bought it, because TNA airs on a Tuesday. So the whole feeling of the whole situation kind of makes me want what we just talked about to happen, because it would make being a fan so much fun. Like, so much fun. So that's obviously our thoughts on it. Obviously, if you guys have got other thoughts, then hit us up in the comments. Don't forget to obviously share the shit out of it, out of the podcast. Yeah. And if there's anything that you want us to talk about, anything that you want us to bring to the attention, just let us know in the comments, message us, and yeah, we can
any subject. We will literally discuss any subject.
Yeah,
on the podcast.
It doesn't necessarily.
Probably actually going to get a soon on a few podcasts too.
Yeah, so if you want to be a guest again, hit us up, message us, let us know, and we'll see when we can get you guys on.